Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out on such a beautiful night. My name is Daniel Hardy, and I am a certified natural health consultant. I have a bachelor's degree in exercise science. I completed the dietetic program at JSU. I'm also a certified herbalist. And tonight I want to talk about heart disease. Heart disease is still the #1 killer in America. And it doesn't have to be. We have science now that proves that we can do a lot without doctors. We can do a lot with using diet as our nutrition, or diet as our medicine. Sorry. The pioneer of this method was a man by the name of Nathan Pritikin back in 1978. He was an inventor. His profession was he was an inventor. At the age of 42 years old, he started feeling just a little off, so sometimes he would go up the stairs, he would get a little chest pain, and he would sit down, like little tasks would, cause him to be really tired, out of breath. He didn't know what was going on. So he goes to the doctors, and they do a stress test on him, and they diagnose him with cardiac insufficiency, which is basically clogged arteries, heart disease, and he was only 42. And so he sent him home and put him on bed rest, and told him to take it easy. That's pretty much the treatment they had then. But this guy was really smart, so he's like, he didn't take that, he didn't believe this. He didn't want to settle for that. So he starts to research, and he starts to research cultures that have little to no heart disease. Like, Pacific Islanders and some people in Italy. There's people in Loma Linda, California. And they all have one thing in common. It was the plant-based diet. So he decides to put himself on this diet. And I think he's on it for, it's for a year. And he goes back to the doctor, and the blockages were gone. And nobody had ever seen this before. And this is 1978. So after that, he became a runner. And the reason he became the godfather of this is because he opened his own clinic. And he brought people in, he healed people of heart disease and all these other ailments through the plant-based diet. And so when Nathan died, he committed suicide. He didn't die of heart disease. But the doctors who did his autopsy, they wanted to see. They wanted to look inside and see what he was talking, see if it was really real. So when they opened his heart up and looked at his arteries, his arteries were pristine. And you don't see this. In this country, 10-year-olds have plaque in the arteries now. But this man was 69, and when they opened him up, his arteries were just, perfectly clean. And they never seen anything like this before. So that was the first evidence that we can reverse heart disease with lifestyle. So you fast forward a few years to a doctor. He's a cardiac surgeon named Dr. Esselstyn. He was a surgeon for about 20 years. And he got disheartened because every 3 to 5 years, the patient he did surgery on would either die or they'd be back on his table. And he thought, there's got to be something else because this isn't working, So he takes it upon himself to research on his own to see. He researched the people that live overseas and some of the Indians in Mexico and why they don't get heart disease. And he came to the same conclusion, a plant-based diet. And while he was studying, he also found a study that was, I have it in my notes somewhere. Esselstyn found a study, and this was kind of an obscure study, but during World War II, Norway was one of the several countries that were invaded by Germany. And when they did this, the Germans removed all their livestock. And so the people in Norway had to live on a plant-based diet. And before this, they were having heart attacks and strokes, pretty normal rate. But when they took the livestock away, their heart attacks and strokes immediately just nosedived. And they were like a lot healthier. But once the war was over and they got the animal food back, the heart attacks went right back where they were before they took the food from them. And so that's when Esselstyn was like, there's something to this. And so Esselstyn designed a study. He got 20 patients who they had heart disease so bad the doctor couldn't do anything else with them. They've had like multiple surgeries. And so they sent Esselstyn. These people were like given at least 6 months to a year to live, and that was it. So Esselstyn takes them, and he says, you have to stick to this diet. Plant-based diet, you can only eat whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, beans, legumes, and whole grains. I think I said whole grains. And it has to stick to this strictly, and no oil and no caffeine. And every month he would bring them in and check them. And so the results of the study, the 22 patients with a severe coronary heart disease, out of the 22 patients, 5 dropped out within 5 years, and 17 maintained the diet. 11 of those that maintained their follow-ups. The 11 participants reduced their cholesterol level from a 246 to 150. The disease arrested in all 11 patients, and none of them had new heart attacks. Because usually, if you had a heart attack or stroke, you don't do anything, you'll have another one. But when you follow this diet, typically you don't have another one. So a lot of scientists and doctors came out and said, we only had 22 patients in the study, so it's not really enough evidence. So Esselstyn, years ago, did another study using 198 participants, and he got similar results. He actually got a 99% success rate on preventing future cardiac events in these patients, and they were all sick. That's 200 people. And he's just one of many doctors that are using this. Now, there's a lot of cardiologists now using this diet. And the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio, I think it's Cleveland, Ohio, it's like the most prestigious medical clinic in America. They're using this diet up there, the prestigious clinic. They're giving this diet to people. And they follow it, and they're getting the results. If you stick to this diet, you're pretty much heart attack proof. That's what the doctor says. But you have to be strict. That's the key. And another thing I want to explain really quick about heart attacks is a lot of people think heart attacks are caused by severe blockages, but only 10% of people have heart attacks that have like a blockage between 80 and 90%. Most people who have heart attacks only have 10% blockages. The reason being is because old blockages are very stable, and so they're less likely to clot up. They don't usually break off, but the younger clots maybe the younger blockages from a year or so, they're weaker, so they're more likely to break off and cause a heart attack or stroke. And after 3 weeks on this diet, even the young plaques the newly formed plaques they're prevented from rupturing by the plant-based diet. It takes 3 to 4 weeks. And the facts are there. If you stay on the diet and you're religious with it, your risk of having another coronary event is very, very slim. Let's see. I'm definitely not going to bore anybody tonight because I'm not going to go that long. I like to get to the point. Other things we have to look at when it comes to heart disease, of course, is stress. Stress is absolutely kill you. So there's a lot of good things you can adopt for stress. Meditation being one of them. There's things called biofeedback. There's also a clinic called the Linden Method.
What is that biofeedback?
Biofeedback?
I don't understand that.
It's a system, it's kind of a meditation system where you concentrate on your lower leg and you flex it, and then you relax it. And you do your whole body, you work up and you flex the muscle and you relax it until you get all the way up to your head. And it helps your body relax. There's also, biofeedback also has programs you can listen to, and it guides you along to do. You follow certain sequences, it's supposed to lower your stress levels. Because, long-term stress can actually raise your cholesterol too, so,
So it was actually tied in with the yoga, right?
Oh yeah, yoga is one of the best things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
You do yoga?
They kind of botched it up a little bit. My daughter in Germany, she's a yoga licensed instructor, and she meditates very good. I like yoga.
That's one of the best forms of meditation.
Yeah. It definitely is, and it's the opposite from what I do with body blasts.
It's good to have the opposite.
Yeah.
Body blasts tones you, and yoga blinks.
Exactly.
It's a good routine.
Yeah.
Really good routine. And of course, there's other forms of stress reduction. Pets. It's good to have a pet around. Cats and dogs.
You might have a Dylan.
He's fine. He's fine.
Pets are wonderful. They're a stress reliever.
That's true.
And you may want to mention that we have a page on our website about that.
Yeah.
The anxiety page.
Yeah, I also have a page on my website, Dan the Natural Man, the whole page on anxiety and techniques you can use, like the Linden method and biofeedback and yoga, massage. It's a good page. Because now I want to get into a few herbs for heart disease. The first herb is hawthorn. Anytime, it doesn't matter what kind of heart problem you have, hawthorn should be in your routine. Hawthorn can actually strengthens the heart and actually helps your heart survive low oxygen environment. So if you have clogged arteries and you take hawthorn, it actually protects your heart from the low oxygen. It reduces your risk of going into cardiac arrest. And if you do have a heart attack and you've been on hawthorn, the damage to the heart will be lessened by the herb because it kind of coats the heart cells and protects them. Hawthorn also helps clean your arteries. It helps reduce cholesterol. And
Does that come in the form of like a tablet, like a vitamin, or is it?
hawthorn? Hawthorn is it's a herb, it's a bush. You use the berries and you can use the leaves and the flowers. And you can use it in a tincture, like an alcohol tincture, or you can buy the berries and make your own tea, or you can get capsules. You can get them. I mean, Amazon's got good brands. That's another thing about herbs. I put on your sheet about some of the best brands, because a lot of the herbs on the market now are like they don't work because they're not good quality, and some of them don't even have anything in them when you go test them. So you have to really watch that. But I got some good brands for you. Hawthorn also helps the blood pressure lower itself because hawthorn causes vasodilation of your arteries, so your arteries open up and the blood flows easier. Hawthorn also helps if you have like arrhythmias or palpitations. You have to correct those. The next herb on the list is cayenne pepper, and Steve knows about that one.
Is that like regular cayenne pepper you buy in the store? I mean, really?
It's better to use the one with 100,000 heat units like I make for Steve.
Oh.
That's the most powerful. I make it. I got a tincture at home I make. Now the stuff in the grocery store is good too, but if you really want like really big benefits, you need to use a stronger one.
I said, did it not burn your cootie?
Your cootie.
I mean, doesn't it burn?
Yeah, it burns everything.
That's what I mean.
Just put it this way: I recommend if you're going to take cayenne, eat some food first,
Oh,
and then
okay.
take it because it can burn your stomach if your stomach's empty.
Yeah, because I have a sensitive stomach.
Yeah. It won't hurt or anything. It doesn't cause any damage, but it will burn. So it's better to eat something.
Oh, okay.
Now, cayenne is another herb that can lower blood pressure, and if your blood pressure is too low, it'll raise it. Basically, cayenne equalizes the pressure to where it needs to be. Cayenne can also help reverse hardening of the arteries. So if your arteries are kind of stiff, cayenne pepper can help soften them again. It also helps to get plaque out of the arteries. And like I said, it needs to be at least 90,000 heat units. The ones I make African birdseed peppers are 100,000 heat units. Some of the peppers you grow, those little red ones, those are hard enough. Like the ones you gave me this year, those are hard enough to
Yeah, I
use.
love those.
Yeah, they're really. So you do like hot peppers?
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's real good.
I like hot.
Don't forget to mention that it can stop a heart attack or stroke if it's trapped.
Yeah, my teacher, Dr. Christopher, we used to make house calls. This is back in the 40s. And if he went on a house call and somebody's having a heart attack, he would take 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, put it in a hot glass of water, and make them drink it, and it would stop the heart attack. Because it opens up. It's actually a clot buster. They didn't know that at the time, but it would bust clots. Because you have to if you get the really hot stuff, it'll bust them.
Oh, wow.
So it's good to keep on hand. I
And
mean,
the same thing for strokes, like that story.
Yeah, it
about
does the same
guy.
thing with strokes. I carry it with me all the time just in case somebody I know or me, with a tincture, you'll use at least 10 dropperfuls during a heart attack or stroke.
10 drops of cayenne.
Yeah, 10 dropperfuls,
Yeah.
so 10 of those.
Can you cook with it instead?
Cook with it? Yeah, you can cook with it. Yeah. Yeah.
You could just cook with that.
You can use this as a hot sauce for your food, or
It'll get your attention.
oh, it will.
But if you were having a heart attack, you would use 10
Yeah.
dropperfuls or a whole bottle.
Yeah, if you're having a heart attack, it's probably best just to turn it up.
But daily, how much?
Daily, if you want to, say for using it as a tonic, you would start out with 10 drops a day and work your way up. 10 drops a day, because it's hot. You work your way up.
Yeah.
Preferably work up to at least 3 dropperfuls a day of this. 3 to 6 dropperfuls a day. If you're using the cayenne pepper, You use 1 teaspoon 3 times a day in a glass of warm water.
And powder, you mean?
Powder, did I say powder? Anyway,
But the tincture you use up to 3 drops, droplets, right?
yeah,
Or more, at least
or
4
more.
Jesus.
You know, another thing about cayenne pepper, it seems, you know, it seems crazy, but it'll actually heal in stomach ulcer. The reason is because when you take it, it makes your stomach produce mucus, and it coats the ulcer and protects it so the body can heal it.
And the more you drink it, the less you feel it.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what
I mean,
Get
yeah.
used to it.
Yeah, I got another guy on it, and he finally, it took him a while to get used to it, but then he's used to it, he's turned it up, and, you know.
And one of your clients puts it in capsules.
Yeah. You can also, one of my clients takes the tincture and he drops it into a capsule, like an empty capsule, and he swallows it like that, yeah.
Oh, well, I like that.
Yeah, but just make sure to have food in your stomach, because it will burn if you don't. It'll give you one heck of a stomach ache. Okay, the next herb is motherwort, and I want to talk about it really fast
I
because
love motherboard.
motherwort is good for fibromyalgia pain, but it's also like probably the best heart tonic if you have like problems with arrhythmias or or palpitations. It can help to balance those out if you take it long term. And motherwort you can take like big doses. It's really safe for you. The more you take, the better it works. And the same thing for hawthorn berry. The more you take a hawthorn, the better it works. You have to remember all these herbs are just really they're food, so you can't overdo them. So you're not going to overdo any of these herbs that I use. The herbs that I've been taught are like really safe herbs. You can use them with medication. There's no interactions or anything. The next herb, we'll see, motherwort, especially if you have a fast heartbeat, motherwort will help to slow that down too. The next herb on the list is ginger. Ginger opens up the capillaries that feed your heart. So if you're having some problems there, ginger opens up the capillaries and get more blood and oxygen to your heart. And you can use ginger. You can go to the store and get the root. And you can shave a little bit off the root and make a tea with it. You can also find ginger in capsules and possibly a tincture. Huh? What?
Yeah, ginger shot.
Ginger. Oh yeah. Well, you can also juice the root and do a ginger shot. It's pretty invigorating. But if you feel good afterwards, though. But one of the formulas, Dr. Schultz makes a formula called the heart formula, and he combined all these herbs I'm talking about to one formula. And a lot of people who've had problems like with arrhythmias, they were going to have to get ablation surgery or something. They start taking this formula, and their heart it heals the heart, makes it go back into rhythm. So a lot of people have been saved with that formula. The next two, a lot of people don't see these as herbs, but garlic and onions. Oh, another thing about cayenne pepper is that also, if you take it regularly, you're less likely to get a blood clot. And the same goes for garlic and onions. Garlic and onions are potent blood thinners. They both reduce your cholesterol, and they both can lower your blood pressure. And you can get these, it's better to eat the garlic in raw form, like you can mix it into some food, like beans and rice, whatever you're eating. And of course onions, you can eat those raw or cooked. And then you get into combination. I just want to mention this combination really fast. If you have a fast heartbeat and it's too fast, or if it's kind of irregular, if you mix the 3 herbs, hawthorn, motherwort, and valerian root, you can make a tea out of it every day, and over time it'll slow the heart rate down and get the heart back into better rhythm. It's also, it's really a relaxing combination, so if you have any trouble with insomnia, this will help you go to sleep too.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, which 3?
Hawthorn, motherwort, and valerian root. Yeah, valerian is really good for sleep problems, and it's a sedative herb. Okay, here's another one. I just learned this one recently because I'm doing my master herbalist degree right now. But some of the plaque in our arteries is made up of calcium. The inorganic calcium our body can't use. So CRISPR came up with a formula called calc tea when he was alive, and so you'll drink 3 cups of this tea every day, and in each cup you use 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And apple cider vinegar actually helps dissolve the calcium deposits in your body, whether they're in your veins or your joints.
1 teaspoon.
1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon of the calc tea to 8 ounces of water. That's how you make a tea, hot water. And then you add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to each cup of tea. And so what happens is the apple cider vinegar will dissolve the calcium deposits, And the herbs and the tea can actually take the inorganic calcium and turn it into calcium the body can use. So it gets those off your joints and puts it where they need to go.
I have calcium deposits.
Yeah, and you can soak your hand in that tea every day and that helps break that down.
I've been having this since I was like 15 years old.
Oh yeah?
Doctors just hit it with a book.
Hmm.
You know, and I have one right now.
Yeah, well you can get on this tea routine. It may take around 6 months, but it'll clean up those deposits over time. And if you have a problem like that, you can soak it and drink the tea and soak it.
Oh, okay.
And you can do a fomentation. I'll tell you how to do that. And then one more formula, Dr. Kruger's blood circulation formula. He designed it to clean toxins out of the blood, but it also helps clean cholesterol out of the blood too. And so if you've seen blood on a microscope, like unhealthy blood will be, the blood cells will be clumped up. And it's the reason he invented the circulation formula, because over time it'll heal your blood, and the blood will be healthier, and the blood cells, they unclump, they're freer to move, because you gotta get your blood healthy to heal things. Because if your blood's sick, you're gonna stay sick. So that's why a lot of times we recommend detoxing the body too, because when we detox the body, what we're really doing is we're getting the toxins out so the body can, work at its optimum level so you can heal
So you
diseases.
can detox the blood too,
Oh yeah.
rather than just liver and kidney and all? You
Yeah.
detox the blood?
Well, you always do blood last. You'll start with the colon detox, and then you'll do the colon, and then the liver and gallbladder, and then you'll do for a week, and then you'll go do your kidneys. Then on the third week, you'll add in your blood tincture. I had you on that one time too.
I don't think I've ever had the blood tincture.
There you have it.
Have I?
Is that real nasty when it's really hot?
Oh,
It smells like.
Yeah, I've had that.
It's it's a good one though. It's actually a cancer tincture. They use it in Mexico,
Yeah.
and they
I
give it to
remember
people.
that. That's-
Yeah, look up his name was Huxley. He used it in Mexico for cancer. I mean, the Native Americans used it first. And Native Americans are the best herbalists to ever exist. So, let me see. I have studies here if anybody wants to read any, but I didn't want to bore people. It's just if you want to, I can pass them around if anyone wants to see anything. Okay, so now, you might have any questions?
Yes, I do.
Good.
Okay, so I'm on heart medication, and because the left corner, the very corner of the bottom of my heart is dead. There is no, the blood veins are dead. So they assume I had a mild heart attack at one point, and I have an irregular heartbeat.
Okay.
So what can I do to do away with my heart medication?
I would go on a daily dose of hawthorn and cayenne pepper.
Okay.
Are you on blood thinners?
I don't know if that's a blood thinner or not.
What's your heart medicine called?
I would have to bring it in. I don't know. I don't remember.
Because usually I would throw in garlic with that, but
Yeah.
I mean, we're told to, if somebody's on blood thinner, not to do a
I
lot of
take a
garlic.
water pill and a heart pill.
Oh, so you do one for the blood, water pill?
Yeah, so it doesn't accumulate water around my heart.
Just give me, you got my phone number, you can text me the names of
Sure.
those. And
Sure.
or you can let Steve do it?
I've
And
done
she
that
said she had a
before.
regular heartbeat too, so maybe the Schultz
Yeah.
heart circulate the
The
heart
circle,
formula.
I would also recommend
Yeah.
going to Dr. Schultz's website. It's called,
Sometimes they go so fast and then
Yeah.
it goes,
That's motherwort's really good.
yeah.
I've got motherboard. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
You
okay.
need that.
so I recommend to go to Dr. Schultz's website. He's got one, it's called the Heart Formula.
Uh-huh.
It's got almost all these herbs in it. It's made to correct arrhythmias like that.
Uh-huh.
It's got the cayenne and the garlic, and it's got motherwort. It's got a cactus glandiflorus. It's got ginger. It's a really good formula. People who had problems with that.
So, with other words, if I want to take all that, do I come to you and you tell me what to put together, or how does it work? I have no idea.
Well, if you want to work with me, I got the thing you have to fill out. I can look at your sheet and see what else you might need.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But right now, with that problem, I'd recommend the Heart Formula.
Okay. Dr. Schultz, you said, right?
His website is called herbdoc.com. Did I put it on there?
You did.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Okay, and so all that is combined into one,
It's a really good one.
and it's okay with blood thinner?
Should be.
Which one?
Are you on
I
those?
take Eliquis and Tubal. And I'd love to come off of it.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Because of weight gain and everything
yeah,
else.
yeah, it does.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah, I would take that with it. Schultz said everything on the site wouldn't interfere or anything. So. And he's been herbs a lot longer than I have. Like 30 years, maybe 40 years. I've been doing about maybe 5.
Thank you.
But most of these herbs we use. So you're on a blood thinner, you're also on something for your blood pressure, or?
No, it's, I had an ablation done.
Oh,
So
okay.
my heart rate keeps going up. It stays high.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be perfect. The heart formula.
Okay.
And you can also, if you want to, you can do extra. Yeah. You can do extra hawthorn, like I told you too down here, the hawthorn and valerian and the motherwort. Both, all those are, but it's in that formula.
Okay. Well, if it's all in one, that'd be easy.
Yeah, it'd be easier.
Now, I can't eat the way you do. Well, I guess I could. It would take no while.
Well, you know what? That's the thing. That's the thing. You have to start where you're at. I mean, it's not all or nothing. You have to start. I mean, you could do like if you just start eating one salad a day, just eat a salad. You know, that's a step. You don't have to go like cold turkey. I mean, most people can't do that. If you go cold turkey, in a month or two, you're just gonna go back and just gorge on something. But if you're just to add something in, like a good salad every day with kale and tomatoes and sprouts, things like that, you know, get a dressing you like to eat, you know.
That's how we started out. We didn't eat as well as we do,
Oh,
but
no.
it's like
This took a while.
one step at a time, moving in the right direction makes a big difference. And you can ask Daniel's dad sitting back there, like he eats like we do now, and he thought he could never do it, and he's rocking.
Oh yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah, he likes it too.
He has. He's been there for what, 6 months, and he's been perfect.
They gotta have, three, Robbie, they put one skin in, and they said my blood pressure dropped when he done it, so I didn't want more skin. So he told me about this guy, I've been on for 6 months. I'm really good, I've lost about 25 pounds.
Oh, man.
You'll lose weight on it.
Well, I need to get with you someday.
My weakness is bread.
Well, I'll follow
Like
it through.
sugar bread. I don't
But I
like
gotta do
that.
something.
You gotta try.
I gotta try.
Don't be too hard on yourself. We gotta start somewhere. I used to be. Oh my God, I used to be a junk food head. Well, it's hard to break that, but it's possible. It takes about 14 days to reset your taste buds. If you go off for 14 days.
But every time you start doing something good for your body, it wants you to do more good for it. Like it just starts moving you in the right direction. So it doesn't have to be everything.
Yeah.
You just take a step, make one change or 2 changes, and then your body won't want to go backwards. It will want to stay moving forward.
Yeah, believe it or not, if you did it long enough, you'll lose those cravings. I know you don't believe it now, but you lose them.
That's right.
And you'll crave healthy food.
It's like that ice cream we got the other night.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like
It was non-dairy ice cream, and we don't usually eat it because it's really fatty, that
what kind
Banana
was it?
Foster's ice cream, you know? And we were like, oh, we're going to treat ourselves, and we put it in the bowl, and we were like, I don't like this anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it just happens to us sometimes after we don't eat something for a while. We're just like, yeah, I don't want that
well,
anymore.
your body wants to crave the healthier stuff, and your taste buds reacclimate to the healthy food, and then when you eat the bad food again, it doesn't taste good. I never believe it, but
Or you can eat
I want
bad
to believe it.
food and you think you're okay, and the next day you're sick.
Yeah, your stomach will be
You're
sick.
sick. You know, you can't do it anymore. I'm just like that. I just can't eat anything bad. It's not worth it.
Well, I've been hypnotized, and that didn't work. Tried to come off to it, and I went to a nutritionist in Birmingham years ago, and I'm telling you what, the days I was off of sugar, I was a basket case. I cried, I paced the floor. I don't guess I went 14 days on the third.
No, you got to have a detox. It has to detoxify your system. It has a drug-like effect on the body.
I'll do it if you'll do it.
It's like, I'll do it, Lee. I'll do it, Lee.
It's like you need someone.
Yeah.
That's
We need a support group.
They did a study with rats, and they had sugar and cocaine. And
They had sugar over cocaine.
they put sugar and cocaine down for these rats. And the rats try the cocaine, they try the sugar. And all the rats, they flock to the sugar instead of the cocaine. They were more addicted to the sugar than the cocaine.
Wow.
That's the
I mean,
refined,
it's-
refined sugar.
Yeah, the refined sugar, it's hard, none of this is easy to do, but it's worth
Honey
it
now.
if you can just
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
dig down, you know?
I got that.
And I'm telling you, if you could do it for a month,
Yeah.
no sugar for a month, you won't want it.
Now stay home, couldn't go out, couldn't visit, couldn't.
Well,
Um,
I know food's very social, but
Social services. I like to sugar in my coffee in the morning. Starts my day off, see, I know that's bad.
you can switch to stevia. You don't like stevia?
It's not good in coffee because coffee's bitter.
Just mind.
You ever heard of xylitol? You can try xylitol. It's sweet. And it doesn't bring your blood sugar up, and it doesn't give you a craving.
They have it at Publix.
Oh, it's scary.
Some of that stuff is so bitter.
Yeah, xylitol though. Xylitol's really sweet. It's like,
It's not bitter.
You use that.
Yeah. The celery. Oh.